No way PlayStation has the actual balls to do something like this, but somehow they have found them. PlayStation has seemingly added a 30-day DRM check to all newly purchased digital PS4 and PS5 games. Tests suggest players won't be able to play their digital games if they go 30 days without connecting online. Now, if you think this is clickbait, it is not. It is straight up confirmed by an official statement from PlayStation support themselves.
Hey, Sony PlayStation, bye-bye. I'm going to PC. I'm officially a PC gamer.
This is what they directly said, where there is no sugarcoating it. This is what they have to say. Thank you for your interest on the 30-day timer that is being applied to all new purchases. Affected content. Games purchased digitally after March 2026's update. Offline functionality. If the console does not connect to the internet within 30 days, the license expires and the game may refuse to launch until a connection is restored. Primary console restrictions. Setting a console as primary does not bypass this 30-day requirement. The 30-day is a valid period and is not a sign of an account restriction or anything like that. So to give some clarity, what this basically means is going forward on the PlayStation Store, if you were to buy a game digitally and you upload it, for instance, like you download it on your console, if you do not connect to the internet within 30 days, you will lose access to being able to play that said game until you reconnect online. So
yeah, Sony will cave in. PlayStation fanboys, I understand you will defend Sony to the ends of the earth. But PlayStation fanboys like JTech TV, Reforge Gaming, they will cave in. MBG already did. Those two, they will cave in. Whether they admit it or not, they will cave in.
So we need to address the elephant in the room, and that is that we live in the digital age. Everybody pretty much has the internet at this point, and most people might come to the conclusion, how is this a problem when pretty much everybody has internet access? Well, there is a big problem. What this entire statement from PlayStation actually is saying to the consumer is that you do not own your game. You do not own your game. The console you bought with your own hard-earned money, the controllers and the games with your own cash that you worked for, you do not own it. If you were to some reason lose access to the internet, even if it's a rarity that it happens, you do not own your game.
Get a Steam machine when it comes out, or come to PC Gaming. And also, Sony PlayStation, yo ho! All hands hoist the color of Tsar. Hee-ho, thieves and beggars, never shall we die. Nickel. Come on, bullseye. Ah. That's so tough, eh, bullseye? Forward.
Basically what PlayStation has said here. And if they're willing to go this extra mile to push this type of thing, they will push a lot further if it is allowed to happen. Ironically enough, this entire situation happened in the 2010s. For those that have forgotten or don't remember, let me remind you. Xbox, Microsoft tried to do the exact same thing, I believe, with Xbox One. They tried to introduce a feature where you always had to be online to be able to even use the features of the Xbox. Obviously, this caused a lot of people to have issues. It caused basically people to really have a lot of problems with Microsoft, which is what caused basically PlayStation to really get ahead around that time period in the 2010s. And so, at that time period, I believe, I could be wrong, you can correct me in the comments below on this one, but basically, I believe PlayStation or some of PlayStation staff mocked Microsoft for those decisions. And so we fast forward like 10 to 15 years later, they're doing the exact same thing that Microsoft was mocked for. And the reason for it is because we live in an age now to where digital ID and everything is being heavily pushed, internet being heavily pushed to be restricted or monitored.
First off, the ID thing, there's a solution for that. Be a good parent. Very simple, no? And also, Sony, As for Sony, here's an idea. It is very, very good, very simple. How about stop doing this and start making good games? It's very simple, no? Just make good games. And if you make good games, you don't need this kind of thing. Don't need it. But you know what they say? Yo ho, hoist the colors. Yeah. Oh!
Exactly what's going on here. Now, obviously, this is very different from like putting in your ID, but the point though is that they want to monitor what you're doing. They always want to know if you're using their product, and they want to be able to have access to your console through internet connection to know when it's on. And most likely, there's probably checks behind the scenes. But the reason why they want to know if you have your console on every 30 days or not is if you're potentially hacking into it, if you're tampering with the software or something. They're worried about that. That can definitely lead to why they want you to always be online at least once every 30 days, because it could potentially lead to security risks for them, or that's what they believe it could actually be. Regardless, this is a pretty horrendous thing that PlayStation has released today.
PlayStation, are you really trying to get hacked again? Seriously, how are you going to police all of us? It's like 5% of the population of gamers all over the world. How are you going to police it? How?
There was rumors that were kind of circulating for the last few days. I didn't really comment on because it was just rumors until this official PlayStation support outright said it. Now, with the amount of backlash I think this is starting to gain, I do think that PlayStation and Sony might, backwalk this, like walk it back and not allow this at all. But there is always a possibility that they might not, because once again, we live in an era to where these consoles, these companies, they don't care what you have to say. They will completely ignore you because they feel like they're too big to fail.
Too big to fail. Well, let's see. Let's see what will happen until the Steam machine comes, Tavarich. And when the Steam machine comes and it's sold very faster than the console, hey, don't blame us for your failure, Sony PlayStation. We tried to tell you, yet you wouldn't listen. So, bye-bye.
Some of these companies are too big to fail. And so Sony might be feeling that way. They might feel like they can get away with it. They might lose a few people here and there, but they can get away with it and eventually start like pushing in more restrictions on what you can do with your console and how you really don't own anything, even if you buy it with your hard-earned money. That's basically what this is. So, yeah, it's bad. Like, overall, I cannot believe the absurdity of this. It's like, once again, I'm going to use the age-old thing from Gabe, that, is the head of Steam. Piracy is a service issue. And if you do not own the game, if companies say the games you buy you do not own, then piracy isn't stealing. I'm just going to say it. Like, how does Steam just win by doing absolutely nothing?
Interesting. That's an interesting question. Is it really a myth or is it common sense? What do you think? Wow, many companies still doesn't have the secret sauce for Steam, huh? They didn't know. These companies, Sony and Microsoft, they will never know. By the time they do, it'll be too little, too late. Yo ho, hoist the colors. Oh, better. Oh.
Exactly what this is. Like, every single console company, every game company, they just literally shoot themselves in the foot, and they don't think about the consequences. While Steam is just sitting there showing many examples of decades of data, showcasing if you're good to your consumer, the people using your platform, then more money will continue to generate. And they have built so much goodwill that people side with them instantly. And it's like, I just don't know why these companies don't see that. Like, you can learn from the example of what Steam does to really see how to operate a platform, but they choose not to.
Well, Sony, Microsoft, you choose not to follow the examples of Steam? Okay, well, don't blame us gamers if your platform either failed or cannot even sell enough consoles. Don't blame us if the Steam machine outsold you, Sony PlayStation. Don't blame us. We tried to tell you.
Steam has a monopoly, Steam is a problem, but to be honest with you, Steam just continues to support consumers, and I'm not saying they're perfect, but they support consumers while all these other companies decide to go completely anti-consumer and, like I said, shoot themselves in the foot. It is just outright insane how stupid this type of stuff is, what they do, and they wonder why Steam has a monopoly on the PC market. It's common sense. But I will leave it at that.
Monsieur Chibi Review, thank you for your report. I think I will take this into consideration. You may be right. You may be right on one thing. The Steam machine is gamers' last and probably only hope. I will always remain a PC gamer at heart. I do have a console, a PS5, but where I game, mostly the PC. I can play games both indie, AA, and even AAA. And also, I have a Steam family group that was created by my coworkers. And if my old coworkers have the games he has, meaning I have the games that he has. That's what it's called, a Steam family group. So Sony, Microsoft, and all these companies who, I don't know, trying to be anti-consumer, well, bye-bye. And don't blame us gamers, okay? If your product or maybe the Steam machine outsold you, don't blame us, okay? We try to tell you every single time, but you companies will never listen. Never did and never will, because this is gonna happen. Yo ho, all hands, hoist the color of Tsar. Hee ho, thieves and beggars, never shall we die.
Supplies and production were vital areas of the war in which the Allies dominated. Relentless Allied bombing runs over Ruhr Valley factories resulted in an increasingly crippled German war machine. Methodical strafing of the railroads and rail yards left behind broken trains stalled on destroyed tracks. Without fuel, Germany's heavy weapons were useless. Its vaunted panzers immobilized and its planes grounded. The German infantry was left to carry on the fight alone.
25、24、23、22、21。